speaker, Arora, is an innovator passionate about the intersection of the industrial world and data science. With a problem-solving mindset and a blend of logic and creativity, he challenges traditional approaches to decision-making. His works explore data and emerging technologies, reshaping the choices of individuals and industries, making in a rapidly evolving world. Please welcome Arora, presenting Rethinking Decision Making in the Age of Data and Artificial Intelligence.
About a few weeks ago, I got 2 emails in my inbox. Both of them were consisting of offer letters from universities I'd prioritized. I'd done each and every part of my research, from top rankings to researching their facilities, and I even asked ChatGPT for advice. On paper, the choice seemed very obvious to me. But each and every time I decided to lean into one of those choices, something inside me whispered, pick the other. That's the thing about decisions. While data might point one way, our gut will always pull us to the other. So today, I'd like to explore something we face every day while making our decisions. The fine line between human intuition and data. The fine line between human judgment and machine logic. Each and every decision we make relies on two key forces that help us. The first one is intuition, and the second one is data and artificial intelligence. Intuition is quick, emotional, and based on our own personal experiences. And data and artificial intelligence, on the other hand, is logical, measurable, and becoming increasingly powerful by the day. But each one of these has their own drawbacks in the given context. When we have intuition and gut feeling with no proper feedback given to us, you are being confidently wrong, and that deems your claims as baseless. While data and AI and data trained with no specific context is useless in a real-world scenario. And that leads us to wonder, is there a superior one? Well, I hate to break it to you, there actually is. In fact, a meta-analysis across different fields of business, medicine, and psychology show that statistical and logical models have outperformed human judgment in most cases. Emphasis on most, not all. If it was all, I don't think I'd be giving this speech today. Using these two forces in tandem really provides us with the best outcome. And we need to understand that there's a fine line between them. And instead of actually thinking which one should take over, let's actually take a look at a few real-world scenarios where they worked. When Microsoft had to choose a color for their browser Bing, they had two options, two different shades of blue. And since they had two options, they did what any other organization would. They conducted an A/B test. An A/B test is when an organization has two versions of one product and they divert 50% of their audience to each of them. And because of this one A/B test, they chose one shade of blue over the other. And that increased their revenue by over $80 million a year. That's right. Same users, same product, a merely different change in color. That's data done right. Measurable, low risk, and powerful in the real world. But if I had to be honest with all of you, I really wish each and every problem was this clean and easy. In 2018, Amazon had to shut down their AI hiring tool. And that was because it quietly started preferring male candidates over female ones. The data wasn't exactly evil. It was just biased and trained on decades of human history. And this tells us that when data knows the game, it works beautifully. But when the future is foggy and the stakes are human judgment has to intervene. And a key moment where human judgment did intervene was when Flight 1549. Captain Chesley Sully Sullenberger was flying over New York when both of his engines crashed. He had a total of 208 seconds to decide. No data, no simulations, no ChatGPT. His gut said the river. Later, when computer simulations were ran, we saw that most computer-based decisions would have actually crashed that plane. That day, Captain Sully's intuition saved 155 lives. That's intuition trained by experience, fast, pattern-based, and deeply innate in nature. And as we really evolve into a world where AI does so much for us, from driving cars to writing essays, diagnosing diseases, the real question is, where should human judgment step in? Because we're training AI to take these decisions for us. And there's this real preconceived notion that the future is humanity versus AI. That's not the case. The future is humanity plus AI. And that's when the best decisions are made. The real magic happens when intuition sets the direction and data sharpens it for all of us. And over time, I've realized there are three key switches that help us realize when do we follow the map and when do we trust the compass. The first one, stakes. What are you going through? Is it a one-way door where once you go back, once you go in, there's no going back? Or is it a two-way door? It's reversible. If it's one way, it's important. Slow down, let data lead. If it's two-way, intuition can take over. As Jeff Bezos once said, most decisions should be made with 70% of the information you wish you had. But I think this first switch is also quite dependent on the second one. The second switch we have is speed. How much time do you really have in your hands? Seconds? Minutes? You have to be quick. Intuition has to take over in this case. Well, days, weeks, months, in fact, even years. Slow down. Test, stimulate, and analyze with the help of the data given to you. And the third one is data fit. Do you really even have data for your given context? If yes, use it. Logical models with the perfect data are so powerful and they work perfectly. If you don't, rely on human experience and intuition, but ensure that you actually create data for the use of the future. So, you see, these three switches aren't rules as of such. They're like a compass that help us balance the two factors of logic and instinct. Think about it. For Captain Chesley, the stakes were very high. The door was one way, and time was milliseconds. And forget about data, there was no data. But for Bing, the stakes were relatively much lower, and they had plenty of time. And they had the perfect data for that context, so algorithms could take over and take the lead, and it worked out. But if I have to be honest with you, the secret lies in the loop of these two. Intuition trains data, data trains intuition. Let me show you a visual for that. Let me repeat that. Intuition trains data, data trains intuition. As an IB student, I really felt this happening. As IB students, we have lots of coursework, so many internal assessments, a 4,000-word extended essay with so much research and theory of knowledge. And each and every time, I've seen myself spend hours comparing higher level trends and which topic gets you more marks. But deep inside, I realized something. I'd only deeply work towards something and stay motivated to it if I picked something I actually like. And so I did. And that one intuitive choice made me research harder, made me work harder, and actually made me enjoy the process. And that day, I learned that while data might point you towards efficient, intuition will point you towards meaningful. And if something is meaningful to you, you will try your best to be efficient at it. And AI has been an integral part, is becoming an integral part of our daily lives. It predicts climate, it diagnoses diseases, it drives cars for us. We're going to face many more map or compass moments in the future. And I think in about a decade or maybe half a decade from now, AI is going to make millions of micro decisions from us, from when to brake your car, to what news to read, to who gets hired, to who gets fired. But the question that will always persist is, who decides the direction of these decisions? And that's where human intuition, empathy, creativity, and ethics will always be required, because no algorithm can truly tell us what is right. And that tells us that the future is humanity plus AI. So the next time you find yourself in a position where you have to take a decision, pull a quick map or compass check. Are the stakes one way or two way? How much time do you really have in your hands? Does the data even fit the given context? If it's map heavy, test it. If it's compass heavy, trust it. Because great decisions aren't made solely by intuition or solely by AI. They're made by intuition checked by AI and AI checked by intuition. So walk the fine line and own your choices. Thank you.
Thank you.